Welcome to Ballers and Briefs on New Year's Eve, December the 30th, Week 17 Outlook. Like I keep saying, thanks if you guys are still here with us at this point. We appreciate it. 17 weeks, I know it could be a slog. I know that most people are like, oh yeah, we're ready to get this shit over with. We're done with fantasy football. Or, hey, I got one more week, or I'm holding out one more week before I can cash in. So thanks for being with us. Packed slate tomorrow, 13 games. Football going on right now. Dallas out here scoring 95-yard touchdowns because people can't tackle CD Lamb. So
yeah, I just saw that.
With that being said, I guess we could kind of just, if y'all want to jump straight into it, or if you got thoughts going into the week. Like I said, a lot of games tomorrow. I think your Juju finally got to Trevor Lawrence to be the first time he's ever missed a start in what, Brad? Like his entire football career? Since like high school or some shit?
Man. Yeah. I don't think ever.
I think that's what I heard, like the first time since he started playing in high school or something like that. He's from Georgia, right? Isn't he from Georgia?
Yep.
I thought.
Yeah, he is.
Speaking of Georgia, FSU was supposed to be in the playoff. 63-3. Get out of here. Salty on that one. But anyway, I guess we can jump right into the first game. Miami at the Baltimore Ravens, number 1 seed fight here. It's probably the third highest over-under on the slate. 46.5, which I kind of feel is low for this game when we have the Dolphins who scored 70 and then the Baltimore Ravens who seem to can't not put the ball in the end zone. Let me see some injuries. I saw them. I'm just looking at them. Look up. NFL.com, you're full of shit. Okay, here we go. 2 guards are questionable for the Dolphins. Xavier Howard and Javon Holland, the safety in the corner, questionable. Robert Hunt, the other guard, doubtful. Austin Jackson, the tackle, is questionable. Raheem Mostert is questionable with a knee and an ankle. So the ones of you that have Raheem Mostert and you are in the championship game, this might be one of those points where you're scrambling for a handcuff for somebody else, because if you're trying to rock somebody with a knee and an ankle, or running back with a knee and an ankle injury, that could be a problem. And then Jalen Ramsey also questionable with a knee injury. And no Jalen Waddle, out with that ankle. And then for the Ravens, Jalen Davis, the corner, is out with a concussion. Zay Flowers was limited in practice on Friday and is questionable with a calf injury. Kyle Hamilton, the safety who got all the interceptions the other night in the 49ers game, he's questionable with a knee injury. Linebacker Delshon Phillips, questionable. Brandon Stevens, corner, questionable. And Kevin Zeitler, the all-pro guard, is questionable with a knee and a quad injury. So with that being said, I guess I can see why it's 46.5 and not 49 when you have a lot of offensive linemen on both teams questionable. And when both of these teams are heavy run first, pass second kind of teams, even though that they both can wing it with the best of them, I guess. So what do y'all think on this? I mean, Tyreek Hill is back to being 9,300 on DraftKings.
Tyreek Hill should pop off in this game. No Jalen Waddle. It's probably a high-scoring game. Lamar Jackson is solid for DFS. I like him probably more than Tua, because if Tua's popping off, Lamar's probably popping right back. And if Lamar's popping right back, he's doing it on his feet and through the air.
They're both mid-tier defenses against the pass. And then Zay and Reek are the number 2 and 3 highest owned wide receivers in.
I think that's because they're stacking Zay with Lamar. They're seeing probably what I'm seeing. I think Lamar is a solid DFS play. I think Tyreek Hill is a lock in all lineups. Cash lineups, GPP lineups.
Does that not automatically send you down to Odell Beckham Jr. at 1% ownership?
Yeah, I could definitely get some Odell in here. Especially in a game like this.
And then Isaiah Likely at 5% ownership? I mean, that tells me exactly what I want to do tomorrow. I mean, if Zay Flowers is questionable, and then somebody even else that's even probably a turd from this game on the Ravens side of the ball, Nelson Aguilar, who got a touchdown the other night.
Yeah, he had the same amount of target share as everybody but
Bateman is on here. I mean, Bateman, I guess he's considered number 3 over Nelson Aguilar, but Aguilar got a touchdown and Bateman didn't, so.
You might want to get some A-Chain here since Mostert's questionable. Tyreek Hill had 41% target share last week. That's crazy.
I think the Ravens defense you could fade. I think it's chalk you might want to fade, even though they're 11% owned. And in DFS, now if you're riding them with season long, it's probably you've ridden them this far. You might as well not mess with the sauce at this point. But I think it's going to be now. This is a 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock window game. Or is it going to be one of those games that we don't hear much about? Like if you're watching Red Zone tomorrow, they're going to be on this game a ton because that's what they think people want to watch, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be a snooze fest because after what the Ravens just did to the 49ers. Am I overthinking this? Like too much magic? Like this game's going to just total revert back to both of these teams trying to just run the ball and beat the shit out of one another because we're at the point where both of these teams are fighting for the number 1 overall seed. So if Dolphins win,
I don't think Miami will be successful at running the ball, so they're gonna have to air it out. And if they're airing it out, I don't care. There's no corner in the NFL that can cover Tyreek Hill, so he's definitely gonna make plays, and I think that's gonna make Lamar have to make plays. So I don't see this being a snooze fest.
Cedric Wilson.
I agree with Phil. I think that there's going to be a good amount of points on both sides, but I still believe that in order to win this game, both sides need to attempt to try to run the ball. So, of course, if A-Chain is healthy and ready to go, or even is Ahmed still on their team or whoever that that third string is, I would even circle him.
Jeff Wilson. He was out there, Jeff Wilson Jr.
And he ran the ball. I think he had a couple carries last week, and he
and a couple catches too.
So watch for him as well tomorrow. He knows Mike McDaniel. Of course, you're going to play your chalky plays with Lamar. I think I've called his name a couple times, but whenever there's a receiver out, I like Barrios.
Agent Zero. I was about to tell you Agent Zero tomorrow with no Waddle.
I think that eventually they have to kind of go away from Hill because most likely he's going to be getting a lot of doubles with Waddle out. It's more likely that he'll now definitely receive doubles. And so, again, because of that fact, look to your 2 or your 3. There might be some sneaky points there. Maybe a get different.
He's definitely a get silly for the Millie type player with no Waddle because, I mean, if you got to get the catches somewhere else. And I don't feel like that Miami's tight ends are not the productive type tight ends that you would need to get that you're going to get points from. I would think you're going to get the more catches from like your Braxton Berrios and Cedric Wilson type guys.
Braxton Berrios could do it, but I mean, there was no Waddle last week because he got injured and Berrios had 0% target share, so it all went to Cedric Wilson. And it went to Durham Smythe, who is their tight end. So it doesn't look like he give a shit about Craig Kraft, Berrios, Chase Claypool, any of those people, it's Tyreek Hill or run the ball. I mean, you can definitely get different with a Barrios, a Smythe, any of that, and it pay out. That's how you win the Millie Maker, is being different. But I'd say that it's a super lottery play, counting on somebody like one of them. And Barrios is only on the field 46% of the snaps, which is fucking horrible. He might as well not even be a third string wide receiver. I don't even. That don't even make sense to me why he's on the field so low. It's their playbook, I guess. So for that purpose too, you don't want to get exposure to him or temper your exposure to him.
I mean, Lamar's not. I mean, Lamar's like 7% owned. I think that's good. I think you could get exposure to that. That's a no-brainer, I would think.
Correct. And there's like 3 other games that are solid for fantasy tomorrow, so you don't have to put all your eggs in this game, get different from this game only. But there are definitely some pieces in this game you want to focus.
I think Reek's probably chalk that you're just chewing all the pieces tomorrow. That's just definitely chalk you have to eat, because I think that I think the offense drives through him, even though they do run the ball a lot. It still drives through him because we see the offense. We see Tua. I feel like Tua is more comfortable with Tyreek on the field because he knows what he can do. Like, he knows, okay, I don't know if you guys watched any of this in-season Hard Knocks with Miami. I haven't watched the show, but I've watched clips from it, like on Facebook and stuff like that, where, like, it was last week, I think, against when they played Dallas, and Tua was like, him and Mike McDaniel was on the sideline, and he's like, okay, we need to pick this up. Mike McDaniel's like, what you want to do? And Tua's like, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's do it, or whatever. And I think he needed like 5 yards or some shit like that. And Tua was like, he goes into the huddle and tells Tyreek, we're going for it. I need 5 yards. So we can win this game or whatever. And of course they get up to the line. I think the Dallas shows that it's a man coverage, and Reek calls out it's man coverage, screaming. He's screaming, it's man. And Tua's like, it's man. And what does he do? Hits Reek, 5 yards, 6-yard pickup, like first down, and keep the chains moving, and it's good. So I feel like Tua is just more comfortable with Tyreek Hill on the field. But I guess if you have somebody that's 4.2.5 speed or whatever he runs, insane, you're uncomfortable with that. So I think personally it's 3.5 points to the Ravens. It's in Baltimore. Let me see what the weather is in Baltimore tomorrow. Phil, what's the weather like in Baltimore around this time of the year? Cold and rainy? Cold in general?
Cold. Very cold.
48 degrees, no wind. So this is a crisp day. Man, people are all this shitting on Miami, saying that they can't play outside in the cold. I think Miami wins this game. I'm gonna take Miami here. I'm gonna go be the rebel here and say that Miami. I think Miami wins this because I think Miami wants that number 1 seed because they want to play at home in the throughout. So
I like Miami to cover the 3.5. I don't know if they will.
I like Baltimore here, even though I'm rooting a little bit for Miami. I like their story. I do watch that Hard Knocks show. It's really good, actually, this season, end season. But I think that Baltimore and just Lamar and the new offense seems to really been able to kind of scheme it up enough to really have success in whatever it seems they want to do, whether it's throwing or running the ball. And their defense seems to find a way each and every week. And I just can't go off that until I see something otherwise. So I have Lamar continuing to do what he's done and win games.
Next game.
I think
Cody's frozen. Cody's staring intently at us.
Cody got lost in translation a little bit
Yeah,
there.
man.
But what's the next game, Phil? Do you know
Next
by
game,
chance?
yeah,
Do you have the list in front of you?
I got it. So it's the Patriots at the Bills. Cody does the injury updates. I don't know the injuries of this, but Bills are 14-point favorites. They are a pretty high team total on the slate. They're higher than both the teams we just talked about for a team total. Um, from a DFS standpoint, Diggs has let us down like the last 2 weeks. He's due.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, you're right.
You're
right, Phil.
For me, I gotta play Diggs until he hits it because he's gonna hit it. It's just gonna be win. So I like Diggs, and I like the Bills' defense. I don't think Patriots are gonna stir anything up, nor do I think they have the drive in them anymore. People aren't trying to get injured and shit when they ain't got no shot at it. So, I like the Bills in this. They're still playing for something. I'd say it's about.
What do you think about Dalton Kincaid tomorrow?
Yeah,
change up pick.
Yeah, you could go to him too. Like I said, they have a high team total, man. They got a 27-point team total, so that's higher than Miami and Baltimore's team total. But it's a low-scoring game, so for whatever that's worth, I think Vegas is trying to tell us you could still get a lot of points on the Buffalo side of the ball.
Gotcha.
So yeah, if you want to run some Allen stacks, some Stephon Diggs, if you're gonna play Kincaid though, I'd say play him only with Allen. Because I feel like in a game, he's not going to go off without Allen, I don't think. So
I got you.
That's the way I would see that game. I'm trying to give me a second to see if I'm missing anybody on this team.
I agree, though. Even though the person I'm playing in my championship game, Seema, is starting out Josh Allen, I really do like this matchup for him. He seems to kind of have Bill Belichick's number. A lot of times mobile quarterbacks seem to kind of find a way to be able to break up sort of what Bill Belichick likes to throw at you from a defensive perspective. So from that, I just think that Allen, again, has another solid game against him. Just like you said, Patriots kind of seem to be kind of packing it in his next 2 weeks and just going to kind of run out these last two games. So I do like Allen. I do like Allen with a sort of maybe even Allen, Kincaid, and Diggs sort of lineup. Just again from there. But you can't also go wrong from a running back perspective. Maybe go Cook, just because if this game does get away, they're going to go to that running game.
What I don't like about Cook is he don't get catches. I like Cook better for FanDuel because he don't get catches. So FanDuel Cook all day. Also back to the Kincaid. Dawson Knox and Kincaid had the same amount of target share last week, and Dawson Knox was on the field a little bit longer. So I don't know if that means they're trying to work him back into the starting role. So I'd be a little worried about playing Kincaid or Dawson Knox because it's kind of tough to tell from the one game to see what they're doing really with that. But for the most part, a whopping 38% target share to Diggs last week and 28% share to Gabe Davis. So if you're going to be looking at anybody, it's them. I'm not playing any Patriots players, I'll tell you that.
Like I said, Demario Douglas is so fucking owned.
Yeah, I mean, it's because he's cheap as fuck every week, and like last week he got 25% target share. So for DraftKings, you can't beat volume. That's what you want is volume. But you also, in order to win a milli, you need volume plus results. And I don't think they're going to reap results against Buffalo in a game that they're, like I told Brad when you were out, they're probably not going to be trying all that hard. They're not playing for anything. Why get injured? Risk injury.
I mean, the only thing at their point that they're playing for is to fuck up the Bills. Fuck up the Bills in the playoffs. That's the only thing.
Do you give the injury listings for that game, Coach?
Yes. Hang on. Sorry about that. My computer decided to die and do an update when I turned it back on. So, this game, NFL.com needs to get their shit together. Okay. For The Patriots, Christian Barmore, the defensive tackle, is questionable. Keyshawn Butte, the other wideout, he's out. Corner Miles Bryant, safety Kyle Duggar, questionable. Hunter Henry, questionable with a knee. Jonathan Jones, questionable with a knee. That's a corner. Linebacker, questionable. Jabril Peppers, the safety, questionable. Matthew Slater, their all-God wide receiver that plays special teams, is questionable. No Juju, he's out. And another questionable corner. And then for the Bills, AJ Espinosa, the defensive end, is questionable with a rib injury. DeMar Hamlin, I'm back from the dead, is questionable with a shoulder injury. I didn't even know he was actually on the active roster. Daquan Jones, defensive tackle, questionable. And then a fourth string, fifth string wide receiver, I don't even know who he is, Justin Shorter, questionable. So nobody that is of note on, except for AJ Espinosa, on the Bills that's questionable. So I think your Bills are your Bills here. I mean, I feel like the Bills are this one of those teams that got to the point now where that's a team I might not want to play. This is in Buffalo. 14 points. I don't know. I don't know if 14 points. I don't know if I'm playing 14 points. I don't know if I'm taking 14 points against a Bill Belichick team in this late. And it's a division rival. I don't know. I just feel like and they're at the point where, like I said, the Patriots are just at a point where they're just trying to screw with people's playoff seeding. That's really what they're doing. What have they done last couple of weeks? They put the Pittsburgh Steelers out the playoffs, and then who'd they beat last week? They beat somebody last week they shouldn't have beat. So I don't know. I don't like 14 points. I don't. I'll
take the Bills with the 14. I just can't. I just don't see them stopping them, dude. And I don't see them scoring. I actually see Bills defense actually scoring points in this game. And if they do, then easy 14. I see this shit being 35 to 6, a final score.
Yeah, I agree with Phil here. I'm gonna trust what Vegas is thinking here on that 14-point spread and go with Bills here to take it. I think that the Patriots, with the injuries, just where they're at, and with the ability for the Buffalo Bills defense to probably turn them over a couple times, that's where the game gets away.
I guess so. Well, 40 points is a lot, and that's just because they have so many. They're giving so many to Buffalo. So, I mean, who has the third highest team total? So,
yeah, that's what I told him. It was a higher team total than Miami and Ravens. So, but next game, okay. Atlanta, Chicago, shitty over under, but I think this has sneaky potential to be an over for sports betting wise, but I don't know about fantasy wise.
Only injury of note for the Falcons is Caleb McGarry, the tackle. He is questionable with a knee. And then for the Bears, no Darnell Mooney, out with a concussion. Cole Kmet is questionable with a knee injury. I think he was questionable last week too with that same knee injury, but he came out and he performed. I don't know. And then their center is questionable with a knee injury.
22% targets last week with a knee injury, so cooking.
I feel like at this point
there's sneaky potential for an over, dude. I like the over in this game.
I think it's the Taylor Heineke's running it back at quarterback.
Taylor Heineke. Damn, dude. Brian Robinson had. I mean, Bijan. I don't know why I said Brian. Bijan Robinson had 34% target shares last week.
I feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get him. I mean, he wasn't doing shit.
I think that's a Heineke thing now. You know, backup QB comes in, and who do they like? Tight ends and running backs, dude. And he's just fucking dumping it off the Bijan. They hit 34% target share and a 40% run share.
This game sets up well, I feel, for like a Drake London type of kind of over 100 yards, 5 yards, 100 and a touchdown. I think he's kind of hit. He's been on the Millie Maker a couple of times this year, if I'm not mistaken. And
this matchup type game.
It just seems like it's just one of those matchups where it just seems favorable towards a Drake London to just again have a lot of target share, a good amount of catches and over 100 yards at the touch.
Didn't he go out last week, or was that the week before?
Was he hurt, or because I didn't hear
another week? I think it was I think it was a week before last.
Because I played him and I looked and he was out, and I was like, "What the fuck happened to this dude? I never play him, and I play him and he's fucking out." It was one of these weeks.
I think it was last week.
Time flies so fast now that I don't remember like a week from 2 weeks ago. They just blur.
If this is one of those games and you're hurting for a tight end tomorrow or for a flex play in DFS, Jonnu, and even Kyle Pitts, they're both sub 3% owned. The Bears are dog shit against the tight ends, and Jonnu Smith. I told Brad last week I like Jonnu Smith because Jonnu Smith always seems to just creep down the fucking sideline, and Heineke finds him on the sideline. Even when Desmond Ridder was in there, he'd find him across the middle. It's just he just got that like innate ability to just be in the right place at the right time, and he knows Arthur Smith's offense like the back of his hand because he was with him in Tennessee. So I just think that, and he looks like, I always thought Jonnu Smith was kind of a big dude and couldn't run, but I've seen him running and I'm like, why is he not like top tier tight end? Like I thought he was going to be when he went to the Patriots last year, and they didn't use him where the shit. And then now I'm like, okay, well, dude's got sneaky like potential to be a really lethal tight end if he can just find a quarterback that can throw him the ball consistently. So, I mean, Jonnu's a play.
He had 20% target share last week.
3,000 on DraftKings is dirt cheap.
I get it. Yep, that could be a little slate breaker right there, Jonnu or Kyle Pitts. That's about it, though, player-wise in these games.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I know that we're not in the defense calling here, but Falcons defense is not terrible, and the whole Bears offense is just not. It's not what we expected it to be. It just they put up points one week and then one week they go to sleep. So this could be that week that they go to sleep. I don't know, especially if there's no Darnell Mooney out there. Who else is he gonna throw to? And then a bum one-legged Cole Kmet. So the only person I saw him throwing the ball to last week, other than those two, was Robert Tonyan. So I don't know. I not a big fan of this game, but like I said, the people I'd call in and think about is Jonnu and Kyle Pitts for this game. Yeah, but it's spread is 3 points to the Bears. It's in Chicago.
I have to go Atlanta on this one.
I'm gonna go Chicago.
I want Chicago to win, but
I think Justin Fields does just enough scrambling to get the job done tomorrow. Just enough.
I think this is Justin Fields' audition to go play for the Atlanta Falcons. Watch. This is his audition. Go play for his hometown team.
I'd rather him go to New Orleans.
Justin Fields is making his audition for the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow. Say, hey, you guys want to come pick me up? Can I come to Atlanta? Come home? Can I put red and black back on? And this time, I promise I won't run away. So yeah, I think Justin Fields. I think they win tomorrow. I think Chicago wins. I think the 3 points is. I'll take the 3 points.
Next one's your
bum
ass Texans versus
CJ. We get CJ Stroud back. That's the most important thing that I can tell you. For the Titans, defensive tackle, they have a defensive tackle that's out. One that's questionable. Caleb Fairley, their number one corner, is out with a back injury. And other than that, and then for us, we might get Will back. Will Anderson, he limited practice on Friday, so he might come back with the ankle injury. Our fullback, Andrew Beck, is questionable with a calf injury. Malik Collins, our nose tackle, is questionable with a hip. Jonathan Grenard, we won't have him. Steven Nelson, I don't even care because he get his ass torched by Amari Cooper last week. I would be out with a foot and a hamstring injury if I got D'd up 265 yards or whatever it was and 2 touchdowns. But like I said, we will get CJ back. We will wreck shop. We will put the Titans on the shelf. Get out of here. I need it. I need it for the playoffs.
Y'all played them already this year, right?
We beat them 2 weeks ago with Case Keenum in Tennessee. So this is here. It's inside. I think that it's 44 points, man. 24-20.
Y'all beat them in overtime.
Yeah, with Case Keenum. Yeah, and one-legged Nico Collins at that point. Or actually, no Nico Collins, I think. We didn't have Nico that week. So, Nico and CJ automatically just...
Damn, y'all won by field goals, dude. Y'all kicked 4 field goals that game.
Yeah, we got Kaimi back, and he was putting them through there. So
4 field goals out of 19 points. Sheesh.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, I mean, the Titans are dog shit against the pass. So that's CJ is already. I mean, CJ's only 5% owned. I know he's coming back off. He's coming back off of what Phil calls non-injury, a concussion. So,
yeah, it's definitely not injury, dude. That's just NFL regulations. So you don't die on the next hit.
Get exposure to Noah and Nico tomorrow. If you don't want from them, give Dalton Schultz some love, which is possible, even though the Titans are supposedly the best in the league against the tight end, but I don't believe that. I think he scored against them 2 weeks ago.
I think I'm gonna skip this game for DFS purposes.
Well, don't sleep on it. I'm gonna be rocking all the Texans players I can. Obviously, I'm in a third place game in one league, and then the other one I'm just trying to recoup money, top scorer. So, the 1 week Jerome Ford decided to go off was the week that I'm not in the next round of the playoffs. Thank you, sir. So, 4 points. Us, absolutely. Need them. Need all the points.
I like Texans as well tomorrow. I think this game might be a little bit different the way it plays out because of CJ Stroud coming back in the game. They'll probably do different formations, things along those lines. That changes the outcome of the game in comparison to what it was before. But still, watch out for old Derrick Henry. It's December, and he's due for that game. So watch out.
He is.
It could be that. This could be that game. It could be Derrick Henry versus C.J. Stroud all day. That's what I don't feel like it's going to be Will Levis.
I definitely see the low scoring. I think Henry eats a lot of clock.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll be up here at H-Town till I die. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I hope y'all win. I don't got nothing to like for the Titans, so.
And I think Houston just wants a little bit more because you guys still are in the playoff hunt. And so
37% is what they're saying.
So you might as well, play. You still got something to play for.
Yeah.
Oakland at Indianapolis.
Vegas, the Vegas Raiders against.
Or I should say Oakland. What did it say? Raiders.
Yeah. So
Colts.
tackle
The
Raiders.
Baltimore Colts. Who remembers that, dude?
Yeah, old people.
Yeah, it's taking it back. People are like Baltimore Colts. What's he talking?
and the Los Angeles Raiders. There you go.
Yep. Los Angeles Raiders. There it is. I don't. No, I can't, man. I told y'all. What was it? Christmas Eve or something? I put half my lines. Aiden O'Connell, and that dude got like 2 points.
So probably no Josh Jacobs. He's down for the squad. Michael Mayer. He's out with a toe injury.
I think he was out for that game too.
They're gonna could be without their right. I believe their right tackle Jermaine Illuminor.
Snooze fest game. That's what this is.
So and then for them there Colts.
That day is
DJ Montgomery, one of the wide receivers, questionable with a groin. Kenny Moore, their number one corner, is questionable with a back injury. Zach Moss is out with a forearm injury. Michael Pittman is probably going to play. I think he's going to play. He's back with that concussion and the shoulder injury. And then their other tackle, Braden Smith, is questionable. So
that's how good for JT. That's about it.
I mean this is a game where both of these teams are still playing for playoffs too. So I need the good old Raiders to win here to put the Colts in a hole. I know Brad needs it too, but I need it more. Because
guys, I'll be the one that says I think the Colts win this because of JT. Aiden O'Connell got like 2 fantasy points last week, all right, or whatever week it was. So the Raiders have shot me point blank with a gun, and I will not be alive to ever play them again.
I mean, I'm not playing anybody. Maybe Zeus. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're going to run out your chalky players tomorrow, but I just don't think you get different here. Just again, with the struggles on the offense, upsides for both teams, really, in many ways, it's just not something that I think we would want to go and play with. But I will go with the Colts. Unfortunately, I don't want them to win, but I think, again, because of the playoff factor, they're a little bit more motivated. Minshew does just enough tomorrow.
I think y'all both are wrong. I'm going to take the Raiders winning this ball game because I think Antonio Pierce wants to keep his fucking job. And I think that the Raiders want to get to the playoffs. They just beat the damn Chiefs.
They might want to get there, but
they can.
I want to go to Super Bowl, but I ain't got the skills. So
they're still in the hunt. I mean, they're literally still in the hunt.
Is dog shit. I think the Chiefs beat themselves, and it was prime time type shit.
And Zamir White obviously is almost 30% owned tomorrow.
He did good.
The Colts can't up a running back to save their life, and I feel like Gardner Minshew has done this. I think he's plateaued, and over the last couple weeks, I had him on my season-long team, and I'm glad I set him on the bench. It was like either him or freaking Trevor Lawrence, and they both only got 9 points last week. So I was like,
it's gonna be the battle of the running backs and kickers tomorrow in that game. JT versus Zamir White. I got to go with the vet JT.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the Raiders. I think the Raiders win tomorrow. I think that they prove a point. They try to keep they're playing for their coach's job. So
they favored by 4.
Yeah, it's in Indy. That's why.
It's a big spread.
I think I like the
Raiders might cover that, to be honest, but I still think Colts win it.
All right. Well, I guess we can move to the next game where Phil can say "I told you so." Trevor Lawrence is not playing for the first time in his career, like I said earlier. I'll give the Panthers injuries first.
Carolina Panthers. Panthers might fuck around and win this game.
They got a tackle that's questionable.
Yeah,
Corner, Roy Hill that's
who's
out.
the quarterback for the Jags?
CJ Beathard starting,
CJ
right?
Beathard.
Bethard?
Yeah.
Bet hard? Bet hard.
They got two of their really good, actually two corners. One is out, one's questionable, and two of their starting linebackers are questionable for the Panthers. And then obviously for the Jags, given Trevor out.
Panthers suck, dude, but I feel like they pulled it together into the game.
Y'all just activated Cam back off of IR, right, Brad? Cam Robinson? You get your left tackle back. That helps a lot.
Potentially could come back. He's a little bit more of a physical offensive lineman than the other. We'll see if he can add a little bit of element tomorrow.
Yeah, and Zay is still questionable with that damn.
No DFS love for me in this game. Over under 36.5, lowest on the slate with the Denver game, so can't fade it.
Give me Adam Thielen tomorrow, just because I just think that his role and sort of the way this game's going to go, he's going to see a lot of target share, even if the game, no matter what way the game goes. And so from all of that's the only sort of play I don't feel comfortable telling the listeners to do anything from the Jaguars perspective, because I've just seen the offense kind of stall out, or they'll end up going to different receivers that may not even be on the fantasy list, like a Cooks, or just, different sort of later guys on the list. So I'm hoping that the Jags can find a way to kind of pull it all together tomorrow. But I just wonder sort of where the motivations are for the team, if they still want to get to the playoffs, basically, or has the sort of injuries kind of gotten to him, caught up to the team?
You've called him a lot this season. He pop off every time you call. I wrote his name down on my handy dandy notebook.
5,900. You can't go wrong with that, and he's only 2% owned.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with
again, I like this matchup. There's some, we got a little bit of injuries, concerns from the secondary, and I think many times our defensive coordinator, Mike Caldwell, likes to get sort of gimmicky when he goes up against rookie quarterbacks, which actually puts us in a bind in the secondary too many times. Sort of what happened in the Cleveland game. And I can kind of see Thielen getting away from someone tomorrow. So, again, that's why I really like it.
Well, fuck with it. I like it. Defense is here, too, maybe. It's a low-scoring game. Vegas trying to tell us not a lot of points being scored. Both of these defenses are probably going to be cheap from a daily fantasy standpoint. So if you have a stacked lineup, you need to save money somewhere, it's not a bad idea.
Sure. Yeah, 2,700 and they're 5% owned. And I mean, that's sneaky. I mean, that Jags defense is like 3,800. That's a little expensive for a defense. If they're not the most expensive defense tomorrow.
Jags favored by 4.
Fourth highest.
I'm gonna take my Jags because it's in my heart and my blood. But man, if it turns the other way, I would not be shocked. Is what I'm saying.
I have no idea which way this game could go. For that reason, I'm not even gonna speak because I don't want to fuck somebody's money up, dude. If I were you, I would not bet this game.
I mean, if you're up against the spread, I'm gonna say, and I hate saying this, I'm cringe when I say this, but I think the fact of the battle of the 1995 expansion squads here, man, I think the Jags win it. I don't like 4 points, but I just feel like the Jags still got something to play for. And the Panthers they ain't it, man. They ain't it. That shit. I saw that shit like a fluke win that they won the other day, last couple of weeks or whatever it was. So I don't like them. I don't like them at all. I'll take the Jags, even though I don't want them to win. So
next game, Rams at the Giants. Sneaky DFS love in here with Tyrod motherfucking Taylor, cuz.
Yes, he's a streamer too this week. He's a streamer for season long.
The
You're in the
Rams
championship, and
has been some shit lately.
for
So
some reason that you're in the championship and you had Trevor Lawrence. Which, if you are, I need to know what you know because I've been telling y'all what I know every week, and I've been getting shit on with Trevor Lawrence. So if you have Trevor Lawrence and you're in the championship, you need to tell me what you know. But Tyrod's probably he's a streamer this week because he can move around with his feet. But
yeah,
let's get some injuries for the Rams. Puka is questionable with a hip. That's very, very, very something that we need to pay attention to.
That's a Cooper Cup all day.
He did not practice on Friday. Puka did not. Their tackle Joe Noteboom is questionable with a foot injury, so that's crazy.
All right, Yoda.
They're all what?
Sounded like Yoda when you did that. Practice he did not.
Practice he did not. Practice he did not. And then the Giants, Deontay Banks and corners, questionable.
Wandale motherfucking Robinson.
Questionable with a quad injury.
Damn.
That's
so tough, man. So tough. Saquon, Tyrod and Saquon, they kind of counter each other.
Well, I think we got a question on Wednesday, and I know it doesn't look like George is here to ask the question again, and he came and asked us, like, what defense he should play. And we were leaning towards the Rams on this one. I think I wouldn't do that. Man, I was about to stamp it, though. I think I like the Rams this week. For the simple fact of the matter is, Tyrod, I've seen it time after time. Tyrod's got one good game in him a season. He was a Texan, one good game a season. When he was a Bill, he had one good game a season. When he was a Charger, he had one good game. In the next game, the doctor jammed him, poked him in the chest with a needle and deflated his lung, and then
from some research that I've done, Tyrod to some people is lining up as their top pay down QB option this week, the top one, because he put up 21.6 points in his Week 7 start, which included 8 rush attempts, and they're playing at home. And he only needs to get 20 fantasy points. So from a DFS standpoint, Tyrod looking juicy. And the Rams defense, man, just been, I don't know, dog. They just been kind of sus lately. And the fact that the Giants put up 18 against Philly, which I think is a much better defense than the Rams, kind of tells me I wouldn't stamp it. But at the same time, he didn't have too much to choose from that looked like it was great. I don't remember what else he had. I know I had said Rams and somebody else, whatever one it was.
Remember exactly. I told him to come back, so he must have made that decision on his own. But I liked the Rams.
I think this is a case though with Tyrod, at least last week, is when the team doesn't have film on you or they haven't sort of game plan to sort of stop your style. That sometimes you can kind of find a way to get a little bit more fantasy points in that week, but then the next week when the team has a whole week of scheming against you and kind of knowing that you have the ability to scramble, it's a little bit different. And I think that
he only had 9 points last week, though. That's the crazy part.
So I mean, again, it could play the opposite, but I just see the Rams kind of bottling them up. I think their personnel kind of fits a little bit better.
It said on his Week 7 start, so I guess he starts
Week 7, 279 yards and 2 touchdowns passing, and he had 8 attempts for 25 yards. So that was against Washington. What's up, Chandler? What's up, bro?
Yo.
I mean, against Philly, he only had 133 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. So I'm just saying, like, I think the fact of the matter is, this offensive line, it's just kind of suspect anyway. Something comes and goes. I think that I like, and some of the people that I was reading, like the whole analysts and stuff that I was reading, like on NFL.com, like Michael Florio or whatever, he likes his start of the week is the Rams defense. And I was like, I'm just saying I've seen Tyrod Taylor come and go, and this could be one of those coming weeks. But I think this is a going week. Like, I think that this is just the best of a bad situation, and we thought that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying from what I saw. Other
Appreciate the
people
love, Chandler.
Thanks, Chandler.
Sorry you got eliminated, man.
I hope it wasn't anything you heard from us.
Thank you, bro. Hope you had a good Christmas. Happy New Year's. Tomorrow night we celebrate.
Yes, sir.
2024, baby.
Yes, sir.
Out with the old and with the new. That means you got to get something strange. I'm just playing. All right.
I don't like 6 points. I don't like 6 points to the Rams, but the Rams are still playing for the playoffs. Giants ain't playing for shit.
No, they're not. But you see, they tried to take Philly's head off. So
rivalry.
Yeah, they out here, man.
I
like the Rams for sure.
I'm gonna have to go with Giants for the 6 points, though. I don't think they lose by more than 6. Especially if Puka don't play, dude.
I mean, I like.
I mean, this might be a Kyron game. Kyron might feast in this bitch.
Hope so.
I think he does.
You got Kyron, yeah. Then Kyron might feast out here.
Puka don't play. You got to get exposure to Coop and that there man, Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson has totally stepped in that role, and every other catch that's not going to Puka, every catch that's not going to Puka or Coop is going to Demarcus Robinson, and every third touchdown seems to be going to Demarcus Robinson. So,
facts.
I think you got to get. I picked him up. I'm gonna plug him if Jamar Chase don't play. I'm gonna let Demarcus Robinson rock it. Like I said, I'm not totally eliminated. For money wise, I'm eliminated for championship wise, but I'm just looking for a top score at this point, you know. So I just need points. It's basically DFS at this. It's basically DFS at this point. So
it is for me. All right, next one.
What you got?
The Birds versus the Birds. Cardinals versus the Eagles.
They're shitting. This is them shitting on the Cardinals. Cardinals are without Hollywood. No Hollywood. No Leaky Fotu, the defensive tackle. No Jonathan Ledbetter, defensive end. Kyler is questionable with an illness. He was limited in practice on Friday.
Homie sick.
Pay attention to that. No linebacker Travis Nowaski. He could not travel. Weird. Corner, linebacker, another corner, all questionable. And then the Eagles, Zach Cunningham, the middle linebacker, is questionable with a knee. Albert Akuwiganbanam, I can never say his name. Albert O, questionable with a hammy. And Darius Slay. No Darius Lockdown Slay. He is out with a knee injury. So.
Well, I like Elijah Moore. Is that his name? Rondell Moore? Elijah Moore?
Rondell Moore.
Rondell Moore.
Like that man, Gregory Dortch.
Is he not questionable anymore?
Gregory Dortch for the win tomorrow. Forget Michael Wilson getting off.
I liked him too last week, but he had that Q tag. Threw me off. I get all these Moores mixed up, man. There's a DJ Moore. All these fucking Moores.
DJ Moore.
Fucking Elijah Moore, Rondell Moore. I need more points. How about that? I'll remember your fucking name if you get me more points. From the Arizona side, that's about it. And then from the Philly side, it's like important to know that they're I think very high favorites. Hurts is going to need to get you somewhere in the 30-point range in GPP tournaments to be relevant. AJ Brown hasn't had like a big game in a while, so this could be it. And then obviously you got Smith and Goddard. So a lot of places to spread the ball to, so it's tough to pick where he'd go, but
I like Vontae because he's only 3% owned over where AJ is.
What's AJ?
Nah. AJ is
He's high.
he's 8%. 8%. I mean, it's not super high, but he's higher than Vontae Smith and I like well, you're gonna get the chalk there with Trey McBride, depending on who the quarterback. I mean, if Kyler plays, I assume he's probably gonna play. Is he even showing as questionable in here? Yeah, questionable. Let me see if ESPN has any different information with the fact of what NFL.com has.
Rondo, motherfucking Moore. Greg Dortch, I can get down with the Dortch.
He was limited in practice on Friday.
Dude, Amari DiMercardo had 22% targets last week.
Yeah, I saw that, and I called James Conner, but James Conner was out there, but DiMercardo was
All
getting
the
catches in the passes. It was because he can catch the ball out of the back too.
Well,
and he's sub 0.25% owned. You heard it here first, fellers.
Damn.
I like Devontae Smith tomorrow. Just feels like a perfect game where he can kind of get deep, get past the defensive secondary, maybe after a play action attempt, and just sort of a big game. He kind of been going away a little bit. I think this is the week they kind of scheming up against a little bit more of a lesser opponent as they try to chase maybe to get that first round pick, first round bye.
Somebody that I feel like I think they're gonna start. This could be a game where if they get out in front, and depending on what this game does that's on right now, I mean, it's 3-7. Detroit is down 7-3. But depending on how this game turns out, if Detroit comes back and beats Dallas, I feel like Philly could let off the gas if they're blowing them out, because that loss that the Niners suffered to Baltimore, and if Washington starts for some reason fluking on 49ers tomorrow, because that game is it's in the early window too, the 49ers in Washington. So if for some reason Jacoby Brissett just comes out here and starts gunning it on the 49ers, Philly can let off the gas, and you could see like the Quez Watkins, Olamide Zaccheaus, those type dudes coming in here, Kenny G, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be those type guys in this game that are breaking a slate, you know what I'm saying? I know that sucks, but I think you want to hope that you're getting your points and that all of these games are competitive, because that's what's going to keep your guys that you paid up for in the game tomorrow. But I mean,
pay me that money. Yeah, I mean, this is
I think DeAndre Swift is a hell of a play tomorrow, though. Sure.
Afternoon game too. So
what?
Keep that in mind, right?
No, this is
No, it's not. Oh,
there's only three games in the afternoon window tomorrow out of 13. So there's 10 games in the early window.
Oh, makes me like this game even more. I like the Devontae Smith.
I like Devontae Smith. I like DeAndre Swift too, because
DeAndre Swift.
I like he's gonna run the ball. He's gonna get quite a few touches, but
30-point team total for them. That's high.
Kenny G could be in there golfing them tomorrow too, because like I said, if they get out in front and they're already gonna coast to a win, it's a blowout. So I did see him quite a bit on the field last week too. But 13 points. I like Philly for 13 for sure, especially if half sick. Kyler Murray and that kind of stuff.
I think Philly turns it back on and kind of plays how they were playing more towards the beginning of the year. I think they're starting to figure it out, starting to get closer to playoff time. I think they covered the spread.
You get a Julio Jones maybe sighting tomorrow too.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles on this one.
Alrighty. Here now on to the fight for the NFC South crown. Phil's Who Dat Nation against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We have to win this.
Saints. Your punter is questionable. You have a defensive end that's questionable. You have a corner that's out. Alvin Kamara is questionable with an illness. Kendre Miller is questionable with an ankle.
Alvin Kamara is out?
Questionable with an illness.
Oh.
But he did not practice on Friday, so.
He's probably just got the sickness, some flu or some shit.
Let's see what it says, because, like I said, some of this shit does not. He did not get. He was added at the end of the week, so keep that in mind. This has been a within the last 24 hours that he was added to the injury report. If he doesn't play, it will be Jamal Williams and that man Taysom Hill running the ball, because Kendre Miller is probably questionable too. It says. I think even with a half sick Alvin Kamara, that this is a Taysom Hill special. I
don't know. We need to win it though. So however we pull it out, we pull it out. I don't like anybody from a DFS standpoint in this game, but Olive in.
Yeah.
Is Mike Thomas still out?
Yeah, Michael Thomas is done. He's on IR. He's done for the season. On the Buccaneers side, they're going to be without Shaq Barrett, Carlton Davis, Mike Green, all on the.
Without Barrett, we got a chance.
And then Raheem Jarrett, who's like a third string wide receiver, fourth string, and then their backup tight end Cole Keefe, he also plays fullback. So, let me see. I wanted to look at Olave. Shit. So, Olave did like shit against Tampa. One last time y'all played him. 1 reception for 6 yards, or 1 reception on 6 fucking targets for 4 yards. Okay. Let's see what Kamara did, because I feel like Kamara, because this is going to be this damn team total needs to be lower than that. Because this feel like y'all don't ever score points. Alvin Kamara had 11 attempts for 51 yards. And he had 13 receptions on 14 targets for 33 yards. So if that's it, you know? Let's see, because I feel like Derek Carr had a good game against Tampa too. It was weird. No, he did not. 127 yards and an interception. No TDs. So, is that Baker Mayfield?
No DFS for me in this game. Just need to root for the Saints to win it.
Yeah, I think you just go with your chalky players here. From the fantasy perspective, season long, you're running out who you run out. I don't think you get any different here.
Baker Mayfield, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception against the Saints. Marshawn who?
He ain't doing that shit to Lattimore, dog.
I just said he had 246 yards and 3 touchdowns.
To Mike Evans?
I believe they probably all went to Chris Godwin.
Exactly. Marshawn Lattimore is on Evans and Evans only. He don't cover nobody else. Can't bring my man Marshawn in here unless
Yes, Chris Godwin.
unless
11
Evans
receptions.
ain't eating. Evans ain't eating.
11 receptions or 8 receptions on 11 targets for 144 yards. Okay, so
Yeah.
no Mike Evans touchdowns, no Chris Godwin touchdowns. Then who the hell did they go to? Trey Palmer?
Probably the Rashad White probably scored. There was probably field goals.
See, Palmer. Baker threw 3 of them, so let me see. Trey Palmer.
Yeah, no, they ain't going
Palmer.
to Evans because Lattimore's locked down. Locked down.
Palmer had 1.
They will be fighting tomorrow because Saints need to win this game, and it needs to be against them. So they beat us earlier in our stadium.
No Rashad White touchdowns either in that game. I've only found 1 touchdown so far.
Saints gonna lock Rashad White down tomorrow. They're gonna lock Evans down. We just got to figure out who the fuck can cover Godwin.
Cade Otton scored a touchdown, but he only had 3 receptions for 13 yards. So
cover that man Godwin, and it's a wrap.
Yeah.
If we don't, not going to playoffs. We lose this, we out.
We cooked.
Yeah.
Cook. Mike Evans. I don't know. I don't know who the 3rd touchdown went to. That's crazy. It didn't go to Palmer, and it didn't go to David Moore. I don't know. That's ridiculous. But I know you're gonna be a homer, and I know you're gonna say 2.5 to the Saints, 2.5 to the Buccaneers.
Oh, I gotta go with the Saints for a couple reasons. One, we need to win, and number 2, we usually share victories with them in a season. They beat us at home earlier this season, so given our history, they win 1, we win 1. I gotta go with my Saints here.
I'm gonna ride with the Saints. I like Phil's explanation there. I like that 1-1. I respect that. I'm gonna take the Saints, but no, I do see this one being close either way. These teams just always play each other close, just like Phil was saying. Mike Evans probably won't even make it through. So from a season fantasy long, that's probably not good for me. But I hope he has a good game. But I know that's a tough matchup against Marshawn Lattimore. So I'm gonna go with the Saints to pull the W.
And a guy named Devin Tompkins is the one who caught the 3rd touchdown.
Okay, well, I'm glad you found it.
Because I don't know who the fuck that is.
So I'm going to go with the Saints just purely out of the disrespect I've seen lately with people comparing Baker Mayfield to Tom Brady.
Fact.
I mean, I'm just saying Baker Mayfield is Baker Mayfield. Oh, but it is the fact of I do think it's funny that people are also comparing him to Trevor Lawrence. I think that's even more funny that now they're saying he's a better number 1 overall pick than Trevor Lawrence is. So, there's that. So, but
they shooting this man's horn, bro.
I think the Saints win here.
Dude, Derek Carr only threw 127 yards in that game. Man, we gotta get rid of this dude, man.
Y'all's quarterback of the next season is sitting on the bench for the Broncos, man. You should have been there.
I'd rather have Russell Wilson than this fucking dude, but I don't want Russell Wilson either. I think they both. We need a fresh prospect. Somebody's young, hungry, fit, and is dual threat. Can run the ball and throw the ball. And
straight up.
He looked like me because he is me.
Oh! You're not young. Man. You're not fit, and you can't run worth a shit no more. So.
Damn, no way you just say that about you, Brad. That's crazy. Damn. It's crazy. All right, man. On to the next. Let's go to the
highest over-under.
49ers at the Skins. I'm not calling them the Commanders.
Commandos!
Trash name. So,
I think I'm going to change
San Francisco. Absolutely fantasy value here.
Let me get you some injuries here.
Let Cody run them injuries.
Okay. San Francisco is out without Eric Armstead, their defensive tackle. That's important here. They're questionable. One of their guards is questionable. I think he's their second or third safety because I think they run 3 safeties. Jair Brown, he's out with a knee injury. Their second string tight end, Ross Dwelly. That's important because they run that 21 personnel and the 12 personnel also quite often. He is out with an ankle injury. So that means Charlie Warner, and we're going to get a lot more use check tomorrow probably. And then Juwan Jennings is out with a concussion. And then their backup, Jordan Mason, running back, is questionable. Another one of their tackles is out. And then a corner is questionable. And then for the Commandos, no Kendall Fuller, their number 1 corner. Percy Butler, their safety, is out. Their center is out. Their tackle, Charles Leno Jr., is out. And their other corner, Benjamin St. Juste, is out. And then their other tackle, Andrew Wiley, is questionable. So I don't understand why this. Well, there's 31, almost 32 points to the 49ers. They feel like the 49ers are not, the Commanders are not going to play any defense here. So
probably not, dude. Look at the Jets. Was it the Jets that just did that to them? Somebody just did that to them.
What, to the Commanders?
Jets. It was the Jets. Just buck 30 points on them. If the Jets can do that, then imagine with the 49ers.
Yeah, they did, and then they came back because Jacoby Brissett comes in and turns into fucking John Elway.
Correct, but that's just
he's
like
questionable.
Also,
he's also questionable. Which
so I would
show up on questionable with a hamstring injury. I forgot. I jumped right over top of him.
I would just say that like everybody from San Francisco is probably gonna eat in this game. The Redskins can't stop somebody like
which is insane to me that the freaking I am smashing the like button on the 49ers defense tomorrow. At 2% owned? I don't care if it's fucking Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett. That offensive line is horrible. I think that's all they're saying is, we saw what they did to the Jets. Number 1 defense? No way. Fucking 49ers.
That was all garbage time anyways, man. Like, the Jets were, like, done. They were up 27 to, 3. They were like, all right, let's – come on, man. Get off the field.
The 49ers just played – they're coming off against Lamar, who is probably – I believe Lamar is peaking right now. Like, he's peaking. He's prime Lamar, okay? Jacoby Brissett and Sam Howell ain't nowhere close to that, and they got a fucking safety on fucking Lamar Jackson and that offensive line. No shot am I letting the fucking 49ers hang. I don't care if they're 4,200, which is pretty expensive, if not the most expensive defense. I'm still at 2%. I'm going to have exposure to them tomorrow. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not going to play any Redskins players, dude. I like the 49ers play. That's good. Especially at that ownership.
And then I'm done. I'm literally – I know they get Brian Robinson Jr. tomorrow. I am done with Commanders running backs. That fucking Chris Martinez or whatever his name is fucked us 2 weeks in a row with Tony G.
Yep.
Which he's not even – I don't even see him on the list anymore. But he comes in – fucks shit up for 2 weeks in a row and then dips out. Get out of here, man. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, you probably have Christian McCaffrey in season long, and if you're in the championship and you don't have him, I have him, and I'm in a third place game, and Jalen Hurts, which is weird. But I don't know. You don't have anybody from Washington, right, Brad?
Not in my championship league. I ran out Gibson, or I have Gibson on my bench. in my championship league, but I'm not running him out tomorrow. No, I have another running back. But I do like the 49ers. I like the chalk plays here. You can't go wrong with that. Again, but don't forget about old Logan Thomas. You know, your best friend is always the tight end for the quarterback. So they're going to need to throw the ball a lot to even remotely come close to being with them. So, again, I like that tight end play. But besides that,
think about it. I just think about it. That's a good. I like that for the simple fact of the matter is I saw what Isaiah Likely just kind of eat a little bit against the 49ers. I think that if Jacoby's in there, I think Jacoby's not afraid. He's not going to do the dumber shit that Sam Howell does. He's going to try it. Dink and dunk his way up the field. Sometimes I feel like Sam Howell tries to push the ball too far, and that's where he gets into the getting sacked or throwing interceptions. So if Jacoby's hamstring's not falling off the bone tomorrow, I think he's probably going to play. And I like Logan Thomas, especially if Jacoby plays. I was thinking about this, like digging kind of deep down in the barrel for the 49ers. Since there is no Juwan Jennings, I saw your man Willie Snead out there the other day. So you see some Willie Snead love especially as 49ers get up early. I think that's probably where they're going to go. Him and then Ronnie Bell scored that touchdown against Baltimore too. So those dudes, like if you're in 150 max, I think you got to get exposure to at least two of those two because of just for the simple fact of way this could be a runaway train, and we're trying to get Ayuk and Debo off the field earlier rather than later. I mean, what do you think, Phil? Like, what is?
I mean, I like all the chalk in this game. I like that 49ers D call that you hit, but like CMC and Samuel. I didn't look at the ownership, but I guess you could go Ayuk as well if he's lower owned.
Ayuk is higher owned than Debo.
Actually, he's higher owned than Debo. Yeah, so definitely Debo. And then I like Kittle as well. Let's see, Kittle. Oh, you got some room to play with Kittle in there too. So it looks like the Redskins are pretty solid against the tight end now. Keep that in mind. But
I think they played against a lot of really great tight ends though this season. I
yeah,
think
you gotta play that too.
And a team
but they're horrible. They're like second to last against the wide receivers. So Samuel all day.
And I think that Debo with Jordan Mason questionable. Again, Debo is one of those dudes that I think that you could get cross exposure to him. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact of the matter is he does run the ball out the backfield too.
It's that dual threat.
That could be a thought. And then again, your backup running backs if you need them in bigger tournaments. So, but I like that that 49ers defense. Sorry, Brad. I know that Sue Seema's running out tomorrow, so you gotta face that defense.
Don't be. It's the way.
It kicked my ass about 4 times, yeah. So 49 points, 2 touchdowns to the 49ers. I like it. Embarrass them in Washington at the shittiest stadium in the league. Literally shittiest because they
49ers. Yeah, 49ers to cover for sure.
Terrible stadium. Terrible. Okay. What about you, Brad? 49ers to cover?
49ers to cover.
All right. On to the next one. Believe this game is the only one that doesn't have any playoff implications in it, I think.
Seattle and the Steelers.
I think. Let me see. NFL playoff. I saw it. Playoff chances. I saw it. This article was giving me the probabilities entering this week. Okay, playoff probabilities. Okay, so actually, I'm wrong here. I thought that Seattle was out of the playoff picture, but they actually hold the number 7 seed right now, and they are 68% chance of making the playoffs. So there is playoff implications here, just not really for the freaking Steelers, who are toting out Mason the Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer one more time for him to save them. Minka Fitzpatrick, their safety, all-God world safety for the Steelers, is out with a knee injury. Kenny Pickett is questionable still with that ankle injury, but I don't think he plays. Starting linebacker Landon Roberts is out with a torn pec, and Trenton Thompson, one of their safeties, is out with a neck injury. And then for the Seahawks, they are without their starting safety Jamal Adams with a knee injury. Linebacker out, or linebacker questionable. Another linebacker questionable, Jordan Brooks. Frank Clark, their one of their number one linebackers, is out. Mario Edwards, defensive end, is out. This Dwayne Eskridge dude has been on the out injury report like for weeks now. DK Metcalf, questionable with a back injury, did not practice on Friday. And 40-year-old Jason Peters is out with a foot injury. Kenny Walker is questionable with a shoulder and an illness. And then Devin Witherspoon, the number one corner there, is questionable with hip. So, yuck. That's all I got to say.
No DFS value for me.
I don't know. I don't like it either. I didn't
Low
think
over under, and it's a shit game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like anybody really. I mean, even this is a week that I don't even like JSN because the simple fact of the matter is I just feel like it's gonna be ugly.
You could go to Deontay Johnson, maybe. About it.
I like George Pickens because of what Pickens did last week with Mason Rudolph. Seemed like Mason Rudolph was looking for him every chance that he got. And
Gonna be that.
If Devin Witherspoon is questionable, that corner with a hip injury, which, you know, as a corner, you have a hip problem and you're trying to swing your hips and turn or backpedal to run with a receiver, that hinders you. So it could, I guess. And Mason Rudolph's not afraid to wing the ball. It's just that's the kind of quarterback he is. So I guess if you're getting exposure, you might get exposure to these shit-ass Steelers wide receivers. But I'm not really a big fan of anybody in this game at all. Like, it's just ugly. It's just an ugly game. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Fly by it.
But 4 points. 4 point or 3.5.
Yeah, right? I'm gonna go with Seattle in this one.
It's in Seattle. I like Seattle too. Okay. Next game, Cincinnati at the reeling Chiefs. Jamar Chase is still questionable. He probably won't know until 90 minutes before game time tomorrow.
What's his injury?
It's a shoulder injury that when he took that big ass fall from when he made that catch and landed on his arm, on his shoulder.
That shit looks so fake. It was unreal.
And then for Chiefs, Mecole Hardman is questionable with a thumb injury. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is questionable with an illness. Isaiah Pacheco is questionable with a concussion and a shoulder injury. They will be without tackle Donovan Smith. L'Jarius Sneed, their starting corner, is questionable with a calf. And Kadarius, where's Kadarius Tony? Which is the fittingest shit we can find. Where is Tony? Can we get a Tony alert? Can we get Tony? One more time. He is out with a hip injury.
Nice, Tony. Nice. He's not moved down to number 4 on the depth chart anyways.
I love Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice all day.
For what it's worth, I think this game has good sneaky fantasy potential. Pat Mahomes has looked like shit last week. People aren't going to be on him because of that. Chiefs haven't looked like the Chiefs they have last season either, so people aren't going to be on for that reason. And then just if Jamar Chase plays, I feel like this game has sneaky boom potential on both sides. Oh, Travis Kelce come out here, make some plays with Mahomes and Rashee Rice, and then everybody's like, okay, this is the Chiefs I've been looking at, but did you have money on it? That's the thing. So I think you should get some exposure to this game. I don't say a whole lot, but even if Chase doesn't play, that's a big upside to Higgins.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I definitely see some sneaky upside here. We've seen Browning pop off. Let it run. This might be the first time we get Travis Kelce low ownership. Let's see. Tight end. Nope. Of course not, dude. Everybody's still on
that bastard Justin Watson. I feel like he just seems to just annoy the hell out of me. It's like a little fly, one of those things that just won't go away. Swatting, and I feel like sometimes I'm out there and I'm like, is that Noah Gray with a touchdown? No, it's Justin Watson, because they wear I think Noah Gray wears 85 and he wears 84, and I'm like, and he looks like a tight end. He's bigger like a tight end, not like a full-fledged wide receiver. So
T. Higgins is sub 3% owned, so definitely get you some T. Higgins love tomorrow from that game.
Tyler Boyd, 1.5% owned. Somebody that I saw last week that got a couple catches, I think. Rich James, yeah. What was he on the field last week?
He's on the field only 32% of the snaps, but 7% target share. To be honest, they played like shit last week, so I wouldn't even use last week as a factor. But the most receptions was Rashee Rice.
Yeah, of course. That's the only person that can catch the ball, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the chalkier plays. I wouldn't kind of get beyond that outside of that. But I do see a rebound for Pat Mahomes tomorrow. The matchup seems a little bit more friendly from the secondary standpoint.
Speak it into existence,
that
man.
pass rush isn't as strong as the one from last week. So sometimes those divisional matchups go that way, where all of a sudden you'll think it'll be a blowout, and it's not, just because both teams know each other. They kind of draft for each other. So in this matchup, it's a little bit different. So I see it kind of going a little bit more the natural Mahomes, get that Mahomes-Kelce matchup and kind of connection going back like strong where it was before. But again, stay chalky in this matchup.
Yeah, the last time they played each other, the final score was 20-23, and the time before that was 24-27. So they seem to play each other close and scoring quite a bit. So
and that was with Joe Burrow. I mean, we can't say that, but I mean they played in the AFC Championship game last year, so
that's what it was.
So I don't know. I was thinking would the Joe Mixons of the world here. He's 2%.
Joseph Mixon,
2% owned. And
damn.
Chiefs are mid-grade, 12th or so.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to add Mixon to the list. You gotta take some Mixon sub 2% owned when you can get that Pretty sure every time he's been super low owned, he has came out and popped off.
He's one of those guys that's due for one. It's just been too long. He's due for one, and this is the type of game where he could possibly get it rushing more so than just the dump offs. Because Kansas City can't give up some yards in the rush.
I agree. I like that call.
Yeah.
Like the sub 2% ownership
2%.
on a top running back.
It's a full. It's 6.5 to the. That's right, 6.5. 6.5 to the Chiefs. Full touchdown. I think Pat Mahomes is worth that, and the Kansas City. It's an afternoon game. Let me see. I bet this is going to be a Tony Romo game. By the way, I bet the shit's on CBS. This is going to be Tony Romo's game. Exactly, this will be Tony Romo, Jim Nantz. We'll get them commentating, and you know that some reason Pat Mahomes plays like all world god tier when Tony Romo's breathing all over the mic. So, I think Pat Mahomes is worth the touchdown. I'm gonna take the Chiefs to cover the points.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think it's a bounce back.
I don't think Jake Browning. I said this last week. I don't think Jake Browning is it. You talked all that shit about Trevor Lawrence, that he's better than Trevor Lawrence. He ain't shit without Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is in this game. Jamar Chase plays. I may be speaking something different, but Jake Browning ain't it without Jamar Chase.
All right. San Diego at Denver, lowest over under on a slate tied with the Carolina Panthers Jaguars game.
This game, you said San Diego.
Taking it back today, man. Damn, am I in a time portal?
Yeah.
Take it back to San Diego Chargers, the Oakland Raiders, and the Baltimore Colts.
Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates, and Vincent Jackson? What are you talking about?
LaDainian Tomlinson? I have his jersey.
Yeah.
Goat mode.
Yes,
Goat mode. But for this purpose, 0 DFS. Don't get excited about 36 point over unders. I'm going to keep it a stack, especially when there's like 6 other games that were kind of nice and like 3 that were juicy.
Yeah,
can't fade it.
This game is ugly. The most significant thing from this is there will be no Keenan Allen, no Joey Bosa, no Josh Palmer. Kenneth Murray, the starting linebacker, is doubtful. I mean, no Dick Williams, their starting defensive tackle. And then on the Broncos side, no Greg Dulcich, no tackle Alex Palexowitz, no Cortland Sutton. No wonder this shit is so low. And, of course, no Mr. Ciara.
And with no Sutton, though, you might want to look at a little bit of Judy, because who else they going to throw the ball to, right?
Marvin Mims. And I'm going to tell you.
Not without Wilson.
Judy, on here, he's questionable with a fucking illness. So I just missed again. I must be glossing over these names in my head. And Marvin Mims is questionable with a hamstring injury. What the fuck? I just must have glossed over all of these.
Can we just cancel this game? Can they call and cancel this game for tomorrow?
So let's see.
We don't need to see it.
Jerry Judy. He did not practice on Friday. Marvin Mims did not practice on Friday. So. With that being said, I was going to say go to Marvin Mims because this is Jarrett Stidham starting at quarterback. Who does he throw to all practice? These fucking third-string dudes. So, if none of those motherfuckers play, get you some – I'm looking down here. Where are you at, Brandon Johnson?
Get you some practice squad players.
Brandon Johnson. Brandon fucking Johnson. That's who you need to play in this ball game. I don't care if fucking Judy and Marvin Mims play. Get you some Brandon Johnson and leave it at that. Because Jarrett Stidham's probably been throwing to this dude in practice, running scout team or whatever, to Brandon Johnson.
Lucas Kroll.
I'm just saying, like those are the dudes. If you're running an afternoon slate, little Jordan Humphrey, Brandon Johnson, that's about it. Like I don't like nobody. I feel like and what's his name? Little Jordan Humphrey was in New Orleans with
He ain't doing shit.
Sean Payton.
He ain't doing shit. He did a couple touchdowns in New Orleans, but he had 0% targets last week.
Well, I'm just saying these dudes are
Oh,
like if there's no Jerry Jeudy and no Marvin Mims.
yeah, but we don't just want a touchdown on DraftKings. We need volume. They ain't getting volume. You know, Brandon Johnson might. My man had 14% target share last week. It's the same as everybody else. Same as Lucas Kroll. But little Jordan Humphrey, 0%.
Jarrett Stidham, this could be that Jarrett Stidham game where, again, nobody has tape, right? And nobody has tape on him. And
nobody.
Yeah, so I'm not, and that Lucas Kroll is what, a fucking third string tight end.
Yeah, he's getting all the catches.
So
if we don't know who to play, it fade. Hit him with the fade.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't picked him up. I picked him up for Jarrett Stidham just to see like what he does tomorrow. So. But I don't like the game at all. But if this is an afternoon slate only and you got this game, the Steelers and the Seahawks and Bengals and Chiefs, you don't want to run all the players out because everybody's gonna be running all the players from Kansas City and Cincinnati. So you're gonna have to get different off this game somehow. And then the only person that you can throw the ball to there and the chalk's gonna be Quentin Johnson for the Chargers and Gerald Everett for the Chargers. And then, of course, Eckler maybe. But maybe Javonte probably is probably the only other viable play. So, but I don't know, man. Broncos still playing for the playoff hopes. It's 3.5 points. It's in Denver.
Oh!
I like Denver here.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers on this one.
I think the Chargers play to their competition, and this is the Denver Broncos drag them down.
The Chargers here. They've been playing with that quarterback a couple more weeks. Stick, I think.
Touchdown Cowboys, Brandon Cooks.
My captain. I
did terrible tonight. I tried to be different. I picked Jahmyr Gibbs and Dak Prescott, and it's been fucking.
Well, I'm not in the money in either one of these, but I had CeeDee Lamb as a captain in one single entry, and that man Brandon Cooks. No, I went Jake Ferguson. Son of a bitch! I took Brandon Cooks out. Fuck. God damn it. Well, that's that. So, well,
all right, I need like 3 more quick touchdowns.
Yeah.
On my parlay. So there's that. Well, good luck on the slate. Happy New Year's to everybody.
Yeah, I got let me see.
I'm going out here to eat, but I don't go out anywhere else. So
see y'all in 2024.
Facts. Big money season, bag season. That's what we can call 2024.
Championships. We know it's one more week. We hope if y'all are in championship week this week, we hope you win. We want to know. We want you to send us screenshots or whatever. And if it's on the next week after this week, which it's Brad, we on the next week after this week. We got one more week, playing all 18 weeks. So, but we want to know. Let us know. Other than that, we are
Happy New Year.
Howdy. Happy New Year. Get your green keys on New Year's. All right, y'all.
Peace.
And you bastard.